Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Today is the 4th of November 2024. It's 6:42 local time. This week we have the US presidential elections, Trump versus Harris. So I thought it would be helpful if I give you a market update here, and I will talk about different aspects. What you see here is a day chart of euro dollar. So a few comments regarding the situation. Looking at the fact that during the last elections, markets showed a certain behavior. To make a long story short, first of all, this is a scenario where beginners should not trade, okay? So if you're not an experienced Forex trader, you shouldn't have any position. It's way too risky because there can be big fishing moves, okay? Now, that being said, what is the general bias? Well, for example, if there's a decisive win for Trump, the dollar would get stronger and euro dollar would go down. If there would be a decisive win for Harris, the opposite holds, so the dollar would get weaker and euro dollar would go up. Anything in between, like a head-on-head result or going back and forth, will have big fishing moves in both directions. And remember that sometimes it takes days to have proper results. Now, in this particular scenario, looking at the latest polls, it could actually be that we're going to have a head-on-head race and contradicting information also over different sessions, and therefore big moves in both directions. That seems quite a possibility. Personally, I have the feeling that Trump has a better chance. He seems to be more popular at the moment. People are not happy with what's going on, okay? We have the cost of living crisis. Real wages are not great. It's difficult to get jobs. Inflation has been high, even though it cooled off a little bit. So most people are not doing very well, and they're not happy with what's going on. Internationally, we have many wars and conflicts going on, okay? So overall, people are not happy with the general outlook, and of course it can lead people to vote for change. Looking at how both candidates have approached the pre-election phase, I personally think that Trump did the better job because he appeared at Joe Rogan, I think more than 40 million views or something like that. Harris hasn't even gone to Joe Rogan, one of the biggest podcasts ever. And overall, like, if you look at the response of people, if you look at views, if you look at clicks, which are an indication, and the general atmosphere, I would think that Trump has a better chance. Of course, also as a footnote here, the assassination attempt on Trump is also a big factor. People like Elon Musk have switched to his side after he went through that and almost lost his life in this shooting, yeah, which I saw live on TV, I think. So that means, yeah, I mean, the bias is in favor of the Republicans, but there can be indecisive results, back and forth fishing moves. So it's not that the dollar will just get stronger. Like, if you look here, we see that the squeeze indicator is collapsing clearly, okay? If that wouldn't have happened, you could have said, you know what, it's very likely that euro dollar goes down to the lows and takes those LTS. But that's more complex now. The longies have collapsed recently. Longies are leaving the market. That means the price can go back and forth between those longy positions at the upper LTS and the low. Okay, that's a very important factor. I wouldn't trade euro dollar directly. That's way too risky. Stay out of this market. Wait until the elections are over and clear results are on the table. By the way, as another footnote, it's also possible that things escalate. If there are indecisive results, or if it's claimed that the Democrats won by a slight margin, you can expect Trump to argue that something was done in the wrong way, and escalation. Last time we had the run on Capitol Hill. Who knows what happens this time? Okay, so there's a lot of fragility. Now, in addition to all of that, we had information that Iran is closing its airspace from now over the next 2-3 days. Who knows, will they do a revenge attack against Israel? maybe just on election day. I mean, these are all possibilities that could lead to quite some volatility, okay? And phishing moves, and be careful, okay? So my personal idea is do not trade euro-dollar. I stay away from euro-dollar. There can be phishing. If Trump wins, there can be dollar strength. If there are indecisive results, there can be various aggressive, violent phishing moves in both directions, 100 pips and more easily, okay? So that is a clear statement, okay? Now, looking at, for example, Aussie dollar. I mean, the squeeze is kind of going down. There are longs leaving, but we also have stops below the price. We have the MTS above the price. So these are both targets, okay? The upper MTS as well as the lower STS, okay? Depending on election results. Keep that in mind, all right? So compared to euro dollar, there's still some longies in that market. And of course, the yen pairs will just do the reverse of the dollar pairs. Here I show you again the forward chart of euro dollar. You see longies are leaving, the longies above the price. There could be a fall reversal down, okay? And some dollar strength, but that doesn't mean that it completely breaks to the downside neither. So markets very complex, very fragile, very risky, all right? That is the truth. So please take note of that. Okay, pound yen looks kind of bearish. It has some longies there. Came up a lot. There's no squeeze going on. It could come off further there. Could do a bit of fishy moves also during the election. Pound dollar seems to do some kind of the money switch here. So it's in the middle of the range. So as you can see from that stuff, markets are in a complex mode. Dollar cut is a reverse of that, but there are still big shorties in the market. So even though it's coming down from those few longies on the upper side, only if shorties are leaving and the red squeeze line collapses, then it will go down properly. Which can happen, by the way. Okay, it can happen in a few hours. So observe what happens in the markets. Okay, looking at the metals, I mean, can you imagine how it is for me to look at all the other traders coming with all their theories and all their analysis and having no clue what's going on? I mean, gold went up, gold went down, took the MTS. You see the line? It just took the MTS against the longies. Now is a new MTS above the price, but also many STS below the price. It will be influenced by the election. Okay, I wouldn't trade it at all, but no one has understood why gold went up, then radically down to this level. You guys see exactly why, okay? They don't see the market causality, so they don't have a clue. They just see a naked chart. That's the reality of it at the end of the day, okay? Alright, so that's basically everything in a nutshell. Euro yen has no strong bias there. Euro pound is an MTS down there, but I would leave it alone as well. So full defensive mode, okay? Do not try to trade the elections in a big way. Stay out of euro dollar. Have either emergency hedge or stops placed. Do not over leverage. Reduce if you have to. If there are first results, don't assume that these are the final results neither. You see, Bitcoin has been just MTS hunting, taking this MTS. Look, now with an MTS below the price, they could take this out, yeah? Again, people don't understand these pullbacks, but you guys understand. Okay, so play defensive, be careful. For example, there could be, like in the dollar pairs, a fish move up followed by a big fish move down, something like that, depending on the results and what's coming first. That's one scenario out of many. Also, it's possible that euro dollar, for example, does a fish move, but then also that's basically the pricing of that, yeah, by having like some pins, which are not too crazy neither. Yeah, can be 100 pips, even less. I mean, when you look at the price action during past elections, sometimes markets haven't moved so much in terms of pips, actually. I feel that this time could be different because markets have been going flat a lot. And this is quite a historic moment as well. It's a historic election. Many things depend on it, okay? For example, what happens next with Ukraine and Russia depends a lot on that. What happens in the Middle East depends on that. What happens in the US itself, okay, with the economy, with rates, yeah, rate decreases, will they still be done or not? The stock market, okay, will the stock market finally come off or not? Oil, of course, if there is an attack in the Middle East, oil will go up. So you can see, like, there are macro geopolitical factors which can shake the markets. Okay. So that's basically it in a nutshell. So play defensive, all right, and let it all settle. Once the dust is settled, okay, and everything is priced in, then, for example, resume trading, whatever you do, intraday trading or scalping or swing trading. But no matter on what time frame you trade, like, try to let this one pass first. If you have positions, okay, have a protected downside and don't place a lot of lots. All the best, stay safe.